What's been your impression of, the couple transfers, obviously Marcus and Nathan have come in? What have you seen from them so far in spring?
Yeah, it's been really good. They both have played a lot of football, so the learning curve for them is a lot less steep than it would be for, say, an incoming freshman. So after about a week or so, they were full speed ahead.
We were just talking to Coach Peeler about all the continuity in his room. Anything changed in your room since the end of last season?
Well, just the additions,
Yeah.
just the
How
additions,
different is it though?
and just the one subtraction.
Right.
So when you take Cody out of the mix now, we could be running back by committee. It could be whatever our players determine it to be, because they're the ones that are going to really dictate to us who plays and how much they play. So we have an open mind about it. We had an open mind last fall. If you would have asked me this time last year, I had no idea that the year would turn out the way it did. So it's just a work in progress.
For those of the guys in your room who were there with Cody, how have you seen maybe his legacy kind of stay with them and kind of what they're able to do moving forward?
Yeah, Cody was he was the standard. I mean, his work ethic is unparalleled, and it's been well documented. So I was pleased this spring to see just some of that has rubbed off on Jamal Roberts. Some of it has rubbed off on Tavares Jones, because you knew exactly what you were going to get from Cody every day, and he was a pleasure to coach.
Tell us how it's rubbed off on Jamal and Tavares.
Well, he's just an example. Cody was the example. I mean, he was the first one in the building, the last one out of the building, and then he'd oftentimes come back at late night in the buildings and work out. I mean, we had to actually protect him from himself. So, the role model, he sat next to them in a meeting every day for 2 years. So, and Jamal just 1 year. So, through osmosis or something, you would have to incorporate some of Cody Schrader in you.
What have the other guys been able to take from Marcus Carroll and Nate Noel coming in? Because those are veteran guys as well.
Yeah, they play a lot of football, and they can make sense of a lot of things really, really fast. I think, again, those guys know what it's like to be a college athlete at the highest level. So I think we have a good mix in our room of young guys and old guys. And, Keywan Lacey, who we signed last December, his brother's on the team, so he's actually here this week, spring break. So, they're soaking it all up.
Coach, with Jamal Roberts, what do you need to see from him for him to maybe have a factor in when it comes to?
Yeah. Well, I think it's abundantly clear to everyone that we'll play the best. Cody came, and obviously he was the 7th tailback when he got here, and he ended up starting the first game about 8 months later. So any notion that we'll do anything different than that is out the window. So I think if they know that, then they know that they all have a legit shot. So you just have to be the best. If you're the best, you're going to play. Production is a production-based business. So, but there's a lot of things we have to do at the running back position. We have to protect the football and protect the quarterback, which Cody had 1 fumble in 2 years, which was one too many. And he protected the quarterback. He gave up a sack also. So, having said that, we need to find someone who can get first downs and touchdowns, and someone who can protect the passer.
It seems like Nate and Marcus have slightly different styles.
Yeah.
What would you prefer?
That's a good question. And I said this the other day in the staff meeting. Nate Noel and Marcus Carroll remind me of Tyler Beatty and Larry Roundtree 2020, when Larry played, and Larry's 218 pounds and Tyler was 195-ish, and they were a good complement. So physically, they would remind you of those two.
Coach, back with Cody, just what's it like for you seeing him now going through the kind of pre-draft process and doing all that?
Yeah. Our players are like sons to us, and we spend so much time with them. And, their journey is our journey, and we went on that journey together. I can remember when I think we were kneeling it down the Cotton Bowl and Cody's running off. Man, it was a moment. you know, and I was proud of him. I'm proud of him. And, you know, I've been through that process, this process, you know, post-bowl game, pre-draft, that whole, I told Cody, it's going to seem like 2 years, you know. Your patience will be tested. They're looking for a reason not to select you, you know. So they'll find something wrong with everyone, probably except for who goes number one. And everyone in the NFL draft goes lower than they think they should have gone, except for the guy who goes number one. So I've been able to help him some. I've had running backs that I've coached that have helped him. He and Thurman Thomas have a relationship, and I'm sure they chat back and forth. So, you know, it's a process, and Cody's there, and he's hard on himself, and he's going to critique himself. But Cody's not a tester. He's a football player. So there will be a team or two that realize that for him.
Coach, Cody told a story at the combine about how he would arrive to the facility every day at like 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Before the head strength coach, just so he could get the attention of everybody. Do you have a story like that of when you kind of first realized that he was legit about his craft?
Well, I mean, it's not the story that when I first realized he was legit. I don't even know when I first realized that. But the story that I've told a lot of NFL running back coaches that have called me and asked was that, and you may have heard it, this is graduation day. He graduated December 22? December 22. He graduated December 22. It was a Saturday afternoon. We were practicing that afternoon for the bowl game, and we had recruits on campus that night. And Cody did all he could do to miss graduation, but Drink was not having it. So he's like, look, you're going to go to graduation. So graduation and practice, they collided. So he would have to miss practice, and he did. And generally, if he were to miss something, I would send him the script, or so I sent him the script. He asked for it. I didn't think anything of it. We had the lights on in the stadium that night. It was 7-ish, and it was a cold night in December in Columbia. It was in the 20s, I would think, maybe upper teens. It was that type of cold. And then I got on my phone in our group text, Drink had sent a video, and I was like, who is this on the video with pads on? Looks like they're walking out to the field. We were all here because we were hosting the recruits, and it was Cody. And Cody got the script, went out in 20-degree weather for about an hour and 15 minutes and ran through every play that we had practiced earlier that he missed. And I was just, so I immediately put that video in our group chat with the running backs, and I said, this is what it takes. This is why he was the starter in 22, and that's why he was the starter in 23, and I think that's why he'll make an NFL roster. He's going to do what others are incapable of doing.
Anything else, Coach Luper? Thank you.
Thank you.